A lot of people on social media are asking me, hey, Theo, can you do a video about blood clots? It has increased so much in the recent years. And because I always listen to you, I make a video about blood clots and I'm gonna explain to you what's actually going on in the body, what's the true cause of a blood clot when it's really happening, and what is increasing the risk of getting a blood clot. And by the end of the video, I'm also going to talk about a little berry that is known for strengthening cardiovascular health, blood vessels, and also can prevent a blood clot. So let's start right away with what's actually increasing the risk of getting a blood clot. So what's increasing the risk is basically that you have high blood fat levels in your bloodstream. Because if you have a high blood fat level from high fat, high protein diets, which is basically everybody is doing all nowadays, you have less oxygen in your bloodstream, okay? And that is leading to a blood flow that is not that good anymore. That is slowing down blood flow basically. And it's also causing you to be chronically dehydrated. So what that means is basically you have high thickened blood. So the blood gets really thick and it also gets acidic because fats are acidic. That's why they're called fatty acids. So you have higher blood fat, you have less oxygen, you have slower blood flow because of that. The blood flow is not flowing as good anymore. And on top of that, you're chronically dehydrated. And most people nowadays also have a sluggish liver, what you see here in the background, the little liver. And the liver, one of its main functions is to produce bile, to disperse fat cells. But if you have a sluggish liver, what's happening is that the bile is not that strong anymore, so it can't disperse the fat cells in your liver anymore. Not in your liver, in your bloodstream anymore. So that is leading actually to thick blood that is filled with toxins, because when the liver is overburdened, it can't handle all the toxins anymore, so they land in your lymphatic system and in your bloodstream, which is leading to toxic, dehydrated, thick blood with less oxygen in there. And oxygen is super important for your immune system, and healthy oxygen levels in your bloodstream also feed your white blood cells. Oxygen itself is antiviral, but it's also so helpful and important for your immune system that your white blood cells can survive. And if you have less oxygen in your bloodstream, because you have a high blood fat, then that is basically lowering your immune system. And what this has to do with the blood clot, that's what I'm going to explain to you right now, because first of all, proper blood flow, so to summarize that, okay? High blood fat, less oxygen, chronically dehydrated, blood flow is worse or worsened blood flow, and sluggish liver because it can't produce bile anymore. These are the things that are increasing the chance of getting a blood clot. And here's why. A blood clot actually happens when there's a foreign invader in your body. What could that be? That could be a virus, that could be a bacteria, that could be a toxin. And usually these foreign invaders enter your body from the outside. So usually also they enter the body through your derma. But it could also be a regular viral infection or bacterial infection. When you gather that through your mouth, for example, it's not that the chances of getting a blood clot because of that is not that high. It's way higher when you get it through the derma, for example, because your body is really trying to do I'm going to explain that to you in a second. But what's happening when you get a viral infection or bacterial infection? Your immune system is trying to gobble that up. So white blood cells are gathering and trying to get rid and fight off that, let's say it's a virus, that viral infection, okay? When you have these problems that I just explained, the chances of getting rid of that viral infection are not that high anymore, because you have a lowered immune system. You have already lots of toxins in your bloodstream where your white blood cells have trouble getting rid of that, and you are chronically dehydrated as well, and your blood flow is worse. So your blood flow was worsened already. And your immune system, your white blood cells, they're not able anymore, or they just can't handle that viral load. They can't get rid of that virus immediately, which is important. And what's happening then, more blood cells are getting in and coming to that viral infection, creating a blood clot, because they can't get rid of that virus immediately. That's actually what's happening. And then you have it. You have a formation of a blood clot. And then once you have it, if you have more fat and toxins that are building up inside of your artery walls, the chances of that blood clot getting stuck there is way higher. And if that blood clot is getting near or into your heart, you can get a heart attack. If that blood clot is getting into your brain, you can get a stroke, because the blood vessels in your brain are smaller, so the blood clot can get stuck in there way more easily. That's what's happening when you get a blood clot. It can also happen when you get a toxin in your body, what I just started to explain, but then I realized, okay, first of all, I have to explain that with the virus, but with a toxin specifically that is entering your body from the outside, usually through the derma. And you get a toxin then in your body that's emergency for your body, because something is entering from the outside. And the same thing then happens. Your immune system immediately tries to get rid of that. Your white blood cells are like, we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that toxin. We need to gather around there. Otherwise, it's an emergency. It's super dangerous for our bodies. And what's happening then, the immune system again can't handle that. The white blood cells are not able to get rid of that toxin, whatever that might be, to get rid of that immediately. And then they gather there, and more white blood cells rush there, and then a blood clot can start to develop. That's actually what's happening. And then the same issues can happen. You can get a stroke, you can get a heart attack. That's what's happening there. And also, a lot of women nowadays also excrete vaginally blood clots as well. That's the same thing basically that's happening in your body when you're getting a blood clot. Okay? Because a lot of women, when they're on their period, you obviously see it when you have your period, and they see these little blood clots. That's also the same. So, and that has increased over the last years tremendously. This is really what's happening when you're getting a blood clot. I mean, it's pretty easy to understand once you know what's really going on, and then it's also pretty easy to know what to do about it. And I told you that I was gonna talk about a berry that is super helpful for cardiovascular health, and the berry that I'm talking about it's not the wild blueberry this time. It's called hawthorn berry, and hawthorn berry is basically the best berry that is strengthening the cardiovascular health, strengthening blood vessels, and has also lots of antioxidants. And this berry can actually prevent blood clots as well. I would take that if I would have a stroke, for example, because it is just so good for the whole cardiovascular system. And if you have any kind of chronic symptoms, if you have any kind of problems with your cardiovascular health, maybe you're even having blood clots and you don't know how to get rid of them, or you have reoccurring blood clots and you're so scared about that because, of course, blood clots are bloody sorry for that joke, but bloody scary. And I offer everybody a free discovery call. All you have to do is just to go to my website. The link is in the description. And if you book your free discovery call there, we give you a call for 10 to 15 minutes. First of all, to figure out if and how I can help you. That's totally for free. And then, if so, we would also move on to a 60 to 90 minute call also for free, which is called a strategy call. And in that call, we will show you a strategy how you can get rid of your chronic health problems, whatever that might be in your life right now. And I would highly recommend you doing that, because if you have any kind of chronic problems in your life and it's persistent and it's making your life hard and you feel like you're missing out, you feel like you can't do your job anymore, you can't do your task anymore, you can't just enjoy life anymore, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to help you with. And if you don't take action about it, if you don't do anything about it, and if you trust in Western medicine, of course you can do that. But the chances of actually never getting better is pretty high with that, or it can even get worse, in my opinion and in my experience, if you don't act on your health problems. Because if you're doing what you're already doing and it's not getting better, what is the sense of doing it? And what is the sense of just treating your symptoms with all kinds of pharmaceuticals that just don't attack the root cause of what's going on? So book your free discovery call. Link is in the description. Subscribe to my channel. I hope this was helpful and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.